think I like black. Nigga play, he get whacked. Now you tryna find his face, ain't no trace, ain't coming back. G9, Mr. 2 Glocks, just bought a Mac. A Mac for your face, love, rearrange your couch. 1 foot in the industry and 1 foot in the trap. About that dope to my bloodline, I treat him like my strap. Cause by me, he'll take the nigga feed off the mouth. Big B till I'm sleep, pushing P, he get clout. 2 guns, that's the twin Glocks, I roger that. Heart colder than a bitch, cause the bitch froze at that. Like apostrophe Google, forgot to come in the back. Say I'm worth 250K a week or better.
Welcome to my channel. Today's versus battle is Eternal Mangekyo Sasuke versus Pain. Like that, with Mangekyo Sharingan, Sasuke's stamina is very bad at that point in the story. He has powerful attacks, but without the intel, he won't be able to overcome the 6 paths of pain. For the simple fact that in 2 fights, Sasuke had went pretty blind, had to get Itachi's transplants right away after the fight with Danzo and Killer B. Even though given the benefit of the doubt, Sasuke was more versatile before going Mangekyo. He had the Curse Mark and Orochimaru's powers, which were more beneficial than Susanoo and Amaterasu. He was able to land hits on Deidara while he was on his bird because the Curse Mark grants him wings. He even beat Deidara with his own intellect. His base Sharingan was enough to see through all of Itachi's Genjutsu. He could summon snakes whenever he's low on chakra, he could use the cursed stored chakra for more attacks. Plus, when he takes serious damage like Amaterasu, he can shed his body and repair all damages. When he had lost those feats, he needed Taka, Tobi, and Zetsu to survive. Even through all that, even with EMS, he has all his visual prowess when he had a regular Mangekyo, except that he could spam Susanoo with no backlash, and he could use Inferno style flame control, which basically is a more refined version of For the purpose of understanding, you need to grasp the notion EMS Sasuke was an amalgamation of all Sasuke's quantum selves. With this knowledge, you should be able to understand why I'll be using Hebi Sasuke and Mangekyo Sasuke feats to elucidate some of EMS Sasuke's power. Start off with physicality. Being an Uchiha, Indra's reincarnate, and Orochimaru's test subject, it shouldn't stupefy anyone that he's one of the most physically dominant characters in the Naruto-verse. His physicality alone allowed him to do such things as bind Suigetsu and Jugo with his snakes, blitz Itachi's clones and kill him with zero effort. More so, a punch from a physically drained Sasuke completely and absolutely floored Deidara and immobilized him, which is extremely awe-inspiring considering that Deidara was able to move after tanking a hit from a cloaked Naruto. Additionally, he was able to break down Izanagi, and he hoodwinked Danzo into confirming his theory. Knowing his analytical abilities and rational thinking earned him praise from Minato as he was able to break down the Kage strategy versus Jubito. Now, his ninjutsu, taijutsu, and genjutsu. Needless to say, this is where Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan Sasuke exhibits his true power. With the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, Sasuke was able to do incomprehensible things such as rapidly firing multiple Amaterasu arrows, which would likewise using Blaze Release. EMS Sasuke could shoot Amaterasu arrows that were equal to Naruto's massive Rasen Shuriken. Moreover, Sasuke was able to even match the power of Naruto's Tailed Beast Bomb with a normal Susanoo arrow. On top of that, he could use his perfect Susanoo to cover Naruto's Kurama avatar, making a Susanoo Ninetales, such as Madara did. In the end, EMS Sasuke was too powerful. Even Tobirama and Orochimaru openly admitted that Sasuke could surpass Madara. Also, his V3 Susanoo is the same size as Naruto's KCM avatar, which is capable of slicing through one of the God's Tree branches with ease. Ultimately, he exhibits and exemplifies the paramount of power of the Uchiha clan. Standing on the bank of an ocean shore, Sasuke reflected on what Tobi told him. Then, in a final decision, he informed Tobi, Jugo, Karting, and Suigetsu that Team Hebi would now go under the name Taka, which also revealing his new Mangekyo Sharingan. And along with the new name came a new goal: to crush Konoha. But before he would crush Konoha, Tobi said that he would have to join the Akatsuki with him for the remainder of the time. And so he did, Their current primary goal was to capture the 8-tailed Biju, who has identified himself as Killer B and acts some sort of what a stereotypical African American rapper would act like. Suigetsu and Jugo will begin the assault but are easily defeated. Sasuke confidently steps in and fears no better and is heavily wounded, but saved by the combined efforts of his teammates. Karin heals Sasuke and the team begins their attack again, this time as a team, and still are not doing so well. Killer B then uses Biju chakra and attacks Sasuke, who manages to avoid a tackle, and Killer B heads towards the others. They escape and Killer B goes back for Sasuke. That's when Sasuke manages to hit Killer B with Tsukuyomi, but he breaks it as the 8-tailed beast, who is able to disrupt his chakra and dispel the genjutsu. He tackles Sasuke after he lowered his guard, gravely injuring him again. Jugo tries to patch up Sasuke while Killer B assumes that his Biju form and Suigetsu tries to hold him off for the others to escape with a giant wave. But Killer B takes Suigetsu down and Sasuke then prepared to use Amaterasu. Killer B began flailing about while on fire. In the process, he caught Karin on fire too before he passed out. Sasuke then uses Mangekyo again to extinguish the flames on both Killer B and Karin, but using his Mangekyo too much has caused him incredible pain. He and Jugo then carried Karin and even he admitted before the fight with Killer B that he lost his quick healing powers once Itachi had sealed Orochimaru that Sasuke had suppressed inside him. He also wasn't fully healed back then. He still had some injuries after the fight with Itachi. He couldn't use the powers that he gained and trained in all those 3 years of the time skip. The snake jutsus, the snake shit, and most importantly, no more curse mark. He basically had to adjust to his new powers in a very short amount of time, which is one of the big reasons he had major issues fighting Killer B, even though he eventually captured him. We all know it was a clone though, but nonetheless. Now for the deciding factor of the fight, the Susanoo. Sasuke's Susanoo was initially depicted as a dark shade of blue in the manga, though it was purple in all other medias, because Sasuke's development has often been marked by intense feelings of hatred. The Susanoo is noted to be much darker in composition compared to Itachi's. Whereas Itachi's Susanoo appears relatively normal, Sasuke's possesses demonic horns, a long appendage on his chin, and a malevolent grin. His armored form initially appears largely the same as Itachi's, save for having jagged teeth running to it. After Sasuke gains the eternal Mangekyo, however, its appearance changes. The armored's mouth takes on a beak-like shape and generally becoming ghastly looking. In its complete body form, Sasuke's Susanoo has a helmet that features a long Tenju nose, 2 spikes over each eye, a slit stretching over his mouth, 3 gaps on each of his cheeks, and 1 additional gap on his chin. Because of his Rinnegan, Sasuke can use the wings of his complete body Susanoo to block out. When drawing on the power of the tailed beast, the armor of the complete body form is reduced somewhat, exposing the humanoid within. He is able to perform his Chidori through his Indra Susanoo, as well as the Fire Release Great Fireball technique in the anime. This form is capable of generating a sword within it, having it form alongside the complete body Susanoo, enabling the user to catch opponents off guard. Sasuke's Susanoo also has a blade in all its forms, a saber in its developmental forms, an odachi in its humanoid form, wielded with his second right hand, a pair of katana in his complete body form, his primary weapon. Those a bow manifested on the wrist of his left arm, the bow can double as a shield, a function that becomes more visually apparent in his armored form. Arrows are drawn from an orb held by his primary right hand and can be fired very quickly, such that only Kabuto Yakushi, while utilizing Sage Mode, has been able to avoid one. The arrow's properties can be augmented, either with black flames in his armored form or lightning in his complete body state. Next up, we have Pain. When he was a child, Nagato Uzumaki had the Rinnegan implanted him by Madara Uchiha. After training with Jiraiya and learning ninjutsu, Nagato and his 2 friends Yahiko and Konan founded the organization the Akatsuki. However, after a few years, their organization was betrayed by one of their closest allies, Hanzo. In an ambush set up by Danzo and Hanzo, Yahiko was killed and Nagato lost the ability to use his legs. The 6 paths of pain also have the Rinnegan. an ocular jutsu that is superior to the Sharingan Byakugan and allows the user to learn all chakra natures in ninjutsu. With the Rinnegan, Pain can effectively sense chakra levels, seeing as how he noted that Naruto is running low on stage chakra after throwing his Rasen Shuriken. Probably the greatest advantage that the Pains have is they all have shared vision in battle due to their Rinnegan. The reason why it's always raining in the rain village because of Pain's jutsu, where he uses his chakra to make rain clouds, thus the rain, which said rain can sense anyone who comes into the rain village. Pain has the ability to use a jutsu that borrows chakra from a target and transfers that target into another person, allowing that person to use all the abilities and techniques of the person who donated the chakra. He uses chakra receivers to attack, and when they pierce their target, it disrupts that said target's chakra. The receivers are strong enough to pierce Jiraiya despite his enhanced durability due to Sage Mode. The same chakra receivers aggravate Kakashi's chakra to allow the Diva Path to dodge his lightning blade at point blank range. He also has the ability to manipulate gravitational forces, also the forces of attraction and repulsion. Using his powers, he's able to fly and levitate, as you've seen when he did his chaotic Shinra Tensei to destroy the village. He also was able to blow a shuriken, a large hand, a jutsu.
He is still.
When Kakashi attacks him with a lightning blade after pinning his back against the earth wall, David Path uses his ability to send Kakashi flying back as well as destroy the earth wall behind him. He disperses his lightning style jutsu with the almighty push. He blows away Choji and Choza in the midst of their attack. He blows away Naruto and his clones before he can even hit him. Dodges a attack from all three toads accompanying Naruto, then blows them all away with enough force to break every bone in their body. He also drops a huge block of rock on six-tailed Naruto so his incomplete Biju bomb does not attack him. He sends hundreds of Naruto clones flying backwards. Converting almost all his power into the Diva Path, Pain destroys all of Konoha village. Used a Chubaku Ten. He was able to react to Kakashi bursting straight out the ground to attack him. Dodges all of Hinata's attacks, then also floors her with his jutsu. He's able to react to Naruto's Rasen Shuriken and two clones jumping out of the rubble around him to stab the clones, then use the base as a push off and dodge the jutsu. This is a super impressive feat because the Rasen Shuriken was traveling so fast that it covered the whole Konoha crater in less than a second. He also was able to slam Naruto, which left a huge crater in the ground. He's able to, but he won't be alone. One of his trusted right-hand Pains will be the Asura Path, which allowed the user to manipulate and modify their body to create mechanical armor and weapons. His strength was enough to completely rip off Jiraiya's arm despite just punching it off, even though he had Sage Mode. Emerging from under the platform Jiraiya was standing on, the Asura Path grabs his throat and crushes it. He was able to throw the new Animal Path from way outside the village onto the near middle of it. He is able to shoot missiles at Jiraiya with enough force to destroy the platform that he was on, in which his right arm was riddled with missiles capable of destroying tall buildings in Konoha. He can open up portions of his head and use a sword of chakra blast strong enough to destroy multiple buildings. In his right arm he has blades, drills, etc. and a tail that's built like a saw. His whole body is rigged up with mechanical modifications. Against Kakashi, he takes off his cloak. His durability, he was smashed to pieces by Choji and Choza, yet is still able to jump in front of Diva Paths to protect him from Kakashi's lightning blade. Even after being ran through his lightning blade, he still has enough strength to fire a missile at Choji. The human path, even though he's not much of a combat Pain, the human path allows for interrogation and soul absorption. By placing his or her hand on a target, they can read their memories and then suck away their souls. Although not really a combat savvy path, he was also quick enough to sneak up on Shizune, Inoichi, Ino, and an Abu Black Ops member. His soul absorption gives him the ability to read the mind of a Konoha ninja, determines that he doesn't know anything about Naruto, then proceeds to rip out his soul. Steals the soul of Shizune. The Animal Path is the summoner of the 6 paths of pain. It can also summon a variety of animals for attack or defense, and even summon other pains as well. Its summonings are followed as listed. The animal path can summon a large crab and does so against Jiraiya. The crab fires. Next up, we have the chameleon. The animal path can summon a large chameleon with a snake for a tail. Like real chameleons, it can turn invisible to camouflage itself and whoever is touching it from enemies. It can climb up on walls and blend into its environment. Next up, we also have the multi-headed hound. The animal path can summon a large dog, where each time it's hit and completely defeated, it just sprouts another head. If the body accumulates too many heads, it can split. Next up, we have the bird. The animal path can summon a large bird to aid him with flight and attack. He summons it on the cusp of his multi-headed hound, and it attacks Gamaken, sending him crashing into the ground. The animal path could also summon a large ram to aid him, who's strong enough to completely run through a thick layer of wall. Followed by that, he also has the panda. He can summon a large panda for defensive purposes, which is strong enough to stand up against Jiraiya's Kabari Senbon attack. The animal path has summoned this, even though Jiraiya was attacking from a blind spot, showing his summoning speed. He used the perfect one to match Jiraiya's jutsu, and which is his fastest one in his arsenal. The last two summonings the animal path got is the centipede and the rhino. Next up, we have the Predator path. The Predator path is the Six Paths of Pain's primary defensive path. His unique ability allows him to absorb all forms of ninjutsu, as he absorbed Jiraiya's Big Ball Rasengan, which is a mountain buster as per the data book. He absorbs all the jutsus fired at him from various Konoha ninjas. The Predator path, last but not least, the Naraka path. The Naraka path is the least effective in a battle for offensive purposes, but the most valuable outside of the Diva path. The Naraka path grants the user an ability to resurrect any dead person within a reasonable time limit since their death, and interrogate people by grabbing their tongues and pulling out their energy, thus killing them, as he did to multiple ninja when interrogating them about the whereabouts of Naruto. When they lie, that's when the tongues get ripped out. Along with interrogation, the Naraka path can bring others back to life, as he had brought the Asura path back to full health after he was roughly defeated by Kakashi